Hello and welcome back to Overwatch. As you might have noticed from the title, we are playing Tracer. Tracer is a super fast hero. She's all about getting into combat quickly, using her blinks and her various other speed abilities, and then doing lots of damage to single targets. I can't actually play Tracer and record at the same time. Ends up that's like a recipe for getting wrecked in the face 1,000 times. So I'm going to show you some games that I did that I think exemplify Tracer fairly well, and then the audio recording will have been done afterwards, just so you know, just full transparency there. So before we start, let's go over what exactly does Tracer do. First off, Tracer has her guns. They are twin machine gun pistols. As you can see, the amount of damage, pretty impressive when you get up close, but it's not so impressive if you're far away. I mean, it's really dependent on the range. She has her basic left shift ability is a blink ability that allows her to move very quickly over a distance. She can charge up 3 of those at a time. You can see from the center of the screen how many blinks we have. And as you can see, those blinks can be used to cross gaps and stuff like that. And then her E is a rewind time ability, which I didn't really show very well that time. Oh, we just jumped off the edge. Oh, that's great. Perfect. Anyway, her E is a rewind time ability that sets time back for Tracer alone to 3 seconds before you use that ability, which can be used to regain health, reload your gun, and reposition if perchance you get into a pretty bad situation. Tracer's last big ability is her ultimate, which, if we just use it right over here, is a timed bomb. As you can see, you put it on the ground and it explodes. You can stick it to enemies as well, and it does a pretty decent amount of damage. However, it will also kill Tracer if Tracer happens to be in the area of the explosion. So without further ado, let's get straight into actually playing some games. So here we have our first game on Dorado. Tracer is really good at getting behind opponents, ambushing them, and taking out any weak opponents that happen to be in the area. So my original concept was to wait for them to go like under the little walkway we were on to begin with, and then like ambush them, but that didn't work out. So instead we go for this McCree. Now in general, fighting a McCree with Tracer is actually not the best idea. McCree actually has a very strong potential to take out Tracer fairly easily. He has a flashbang ability that if it hits an opponent, it will stun them, and he can do his rapid fire shot to just take out Tracer in one fell swoop. We almost fall off the cliff there. Not the best. Very bad, actually. We have to use our little, like, reverse time to save ourselves, but we still die anyway. So here we are back in the situation. Our team is actually holding the payload back fairly well, and we're trying to get another flanking position, but Mr. Lucio notices us, which is, you know, not the best. But we managed to get out of the situation, and I believe here is where we get into a small issue. We are now trapped behind enemy lines with, count it, 38 health, and they happen to have their nice little Hanzo up there with his bow ready to snipe us if we try to go that way. If we go out this door, there's an entire enemy team waiting for us. In the end, I decide to head up the stairwell, and, you know, that doesn't end well for us. That Buggernaut dude is a crack shot sniper, and you'll see he gets us quite a few times. But here, we engage in a little hallway against Soldier 76 and McCree. Really not a situation we want to be in because we are outnumbered and outgunned. We only have 150 health, and I believe that is the least of any hero, except maybe Diva when she's out of her mech suit. But we go around, try to ambush them, and we manage to get the Soldier 76. And now we pair off against Hanzo, and Hanzo, of course, being the crazy crack shot that he is, manages to snipe us ridiculously. It was kind of insane, quite frankly. I wasn't happy about that one. So they've been pushing the payload about halfway to the destination. We noticed a McCree over here, but he's disappeared. Probably into thin air. Who knows where he was. And we are just waiting for a good situation to engage the opponents. The Hanzo, probably not the best engagement in the world. I do have a small issue of having a revenge session with pretty much everyone who kills me more than once in a game, and trying to murder them is some sort of, like, I don't know, honor thing? It's not a very good idea. Don't have honor killings involved in Overwatch. It's not going to help at all. But here we're waiting to see a straggler come through. We've got Zarya coming in, and we have a little duel with Zarya. Just so you know, Zarya's force field there, if you shoot into the force field, it actually increases the damage that Zarya does. We pull a clutch little move just a couple seconds ago, where we grabbed a health pack so that Zarya couldn't get it. And in the end, we managed to take down both Zarya and a D.Va out of her mech suit, only to once again be sniped by Mr. Buggernot, who is maybe the best sniper in the world. He sickens me deep down in the core. But now, we're just sitting out in this little room. We've got a Soldier 76 with his optical visor. We make him use it up, and then re-engage him, take him down. In a close combat battle, Tracer versus Soldier 76, Tracer should always win, given, of course, that, you know, you have decent aim, which actually, you may note, I don't actually have the best aim in Tracer, which is one of the big things I need to deal with Tracer in Overwatch, is properly aiming the shots, and then also having good trigger control, because a lot of the time we can, like, I can actually, like, get dead on for a shot, but I've used all of my bullets shooting beforehand, and it's not the best. But we try to get out of that situation with Buggernot there. At this point, I've learned that Buggernot is probably not a person we want to engage. It's not the best. He is pretty vicious. So we just grab a health pack, head back in. Soldier 76 wants a little revenge killing. Haven't we told you, Soldier 76, it's not a good idea to try for revenge killings? Unfortunately, the situation still doesn't turn in our favor because Buggernot happens to be there somehow. And just look at this. Look at this. This guy's ridiculous. I think I figured out how he's noticing us all these times. Our blink ability makes a sound. And I haven't really considered the effect of this sound, but I am pretty sure Buggernot is hearing us move and then aiming us down, which is a pretty solid strategy. That dude, by the way, Mr. Gorilla Man, is Winston. He's one of those characters that Tracer never wants to go up against, as opposed to most Overwatch characters where you have to very strictly aim your weapon. Winston's little electric gun there will hit nearby targets instead of having to be strictly aimed. So while we try to dash around, Winston's gun is just going to keep tracking us. Not a good situation for old Tracer. So we're just holding off for the last 5 seconds on the payload. They're going to get a bit of overtime. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's pretty obvious that that's going to happen at this point. We get caught in a room with Winston, and as I said, it's not going to end well if we get caught in a room with Winston. So finally, we head out to try to hold off that last bit of overtime. They're all right on the payload at this point, but they're just too far away, and we managed to clean up the victory pretty nicely. Some pretty good flanking there at the same time. There, Hanzo just sniping us every other second, and the GG as always. The play of the game happens to be our Hanzo somehow. Their Hanzo didn't get the play of the game because, you know, he's terrible. By terrible, I mean he's really good. But that was a clutch ultimate there, taking out 2 or 3 people, and apparently I think taking out Buggernot too. Our next game is on Nepal. We have to get onto a control point, take it, and prevent the enemy from taking it until we have capped the control point. So this map is actually a pretty good one for Tracer. There's 3 main lines of attack against the control point. You've got the left side, right side, and the center. And as Tracer, I'm just trying to move up one of the sides where there isn't an opponent, get up behind them, and try to pick off some lower HP heroes. Like, for instance, D.Va without her mech suit, or that Hanzo. That McCree, that was not Hanzo. Luckily, the opponents don't have a Hanzo, or we would be in a much worse situation, as we have learned that Tracer versus Hanzo, not the best. Here we see a lone little Mercy. Unfortunately, she's supported by their Tracer. And this situation doesn't go in our favor. Between a Zarya, a Tracer, and a Mercy, we didn't have much of a chance. We probably should have pulled out after the Tracer showed up, but, you know, aggression and all that. Oh my word. We almost get taken out there, but we managed to reverse time our way out of the situation. One of the best ways to use reverse time is when you're in a really bad situation and you don't want to be there anymore. You get the heck out of Dodge. We managed to get behind Zarya. Unfortunately, McCree was behind us as well. We probably should have checked our angles before engaging. That there was the flashbang, just so you know. And we get revived by Mercy, which is, you know. I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm alive again. And we're just doing our general thing, being a rather nuisance to the opponents. But given that most of our allies are down, we just pull out for a little while, because you don't want to engage an entire team by yourself as Tracer. That will never end particularly well for you. You'll get wrecked. But one thing that is surprisingly effective as Tracer is hunting down Reapers. Reaper, that double shotgun dude, is very good at close combat situations. But against Tracer, Tracer actually happens to do significantly more damage in a close combat situation. So if you hound a Reaper, you can take him down pretty solidly. Like 90% of the time. The other 10% of the time, the Reaper takes your face and smashes it into the ground. Here we see yet another situation where I make Reaper's life very difficult for him. Reaper is getting taken down. He doesn't stand much of a chance, and with Roadhog as a little help, we get a 5-player kill streak, because of course, all of those opposing players don't deserve to live, and we are really teaching them that lesson very solidly. So here, we get hit by a little flashbang and Zarya's ultimate. And we try to take down McCree, but, you know, with a tiny little bit of health left, he manages to take us down because McCree is apparently a little prick who can't be asked to just die like he's supposed to. I mean, seriously, what is McCree for but dying? Unless, of course, you're playing McCree, whereas then McCree is for doing lots of damage. So at this point, most of our team is down. We don't want to engage in here yet because, once again, Tracer versus team, very bad. So we wait for our opponents, for our allies to get into the situation, and then we engage, trying to single out their Reaper here. But he does manage to get back into the control point, and the Mercy starts healing him up. Unfortunate. We really should have taken that dude down. I feel quite sad about the entire situation, really. And the McCree manages to flashbang us once again. I do not like McCree's flashbang, unless, of course, I'm playing McCree. That should just be added to everything I ever say. If I don't like an ability, I love it if I'm playing the character, because, you know, the abilities you hate the most when you're playing against them are the abilities you love the most when you're playing them. Oh my word, the aim there was so bad. It was disgusting. We should have taken that guy down so much faster. But we do manage to pull the victory regardless as Tracer. And that will bring us to the end of this episode. Tracer is really fun. She's also a fairly high-skilled player, I think. You can do a lot of damage if you're not skilled, but if you are super skilled, you can do even more damage with Tracer. So with that, I'll say thanks for watching, and of course, watch us die. Enjoy the rest of your day.